Welcome back to Factorio, my Nullius playthrough. Seen through the new year, so it's now 2022, so hopefully everyone had a good Christmas and New Year. So last time I talked about getting on to the next science, but having looked at that, there's quite a lot more research I need to do to actually unlock it. So first of all is going to be trying to get those things. And also I said about putting it around here somewhere, I believe. Looking at the recipes, that was probably very incredibly optimistic. So probably not going to be doing that. I'm going to have to find somewhere else to put it. Maybe I can fit it in all this space here if I kind of move the yarn around. But I'm really not sure because I looked at the recipes and it's pretty in depth. Plus if I need more iron, I'd probably want to expand this here anyway, so this makes everything a bit more cramped. So what it might be a case of is rebuilding all the science with the latest science packs somewhere else. Maybe I'll put it down here, it's a bit more out of the way, away from the bus, and then I'll just have to bring down all the stuff needed specifically for science, kind of extending this idea. Also tidies up some of this stuff, because I won't be building around the edge of a mine. That was kind of a terrible decision, I think, in the first place. But none of that's going to be for now, because like I said, it's quite a lot more sciences, so unless I left the game running for a while by itself, I wouldn't have that anytime soon. So what I'm thinking is, once I get this high pressure chemistry and the mass production, I do actually want to start looking at some more of that. But that's got a similar problem because I can't really just easily upgrade this in place. I also might want to use beacons, I might want to use modules and stuff I didn't before. So I'm really starting to wonder if I should just for example, if I tore this down, then I'd have this space here. I could use this space to build essentially a replacement for this without breaking everything in the meantime. And then maybe I could take this. Well, it's still self-contained, so I could take this and put it anywhere really. I could put it somewhere really out of the way, like right down there on the south coast. And that would be an opportunity to use the upgraded combustion chambers, upgraded backup turbines, pipes, etc. So that's what I'm thinking is, basically just have to rebuild the factory piece by piece and building a new piece somewhere else from the old piece, and I can demolish the old piece after I'm done. And probably by the time I've done all of that, I'll be more than have all the science done and be ready to then do the physics stuff. Nothing else really stood out to me. I did consider doing trains, but there's so much all around in the near vicinity. Unless I get through all of this iron, which is mostly actually that patch, then I'm not too concerned. And I did find last time, or previously, loads and loads of iron over there. So at the point that is an issue, then probably what I'll do is then build a completely new iron setup over there. Might actually be worth finally getting onto trains, because normally I'd do trains from this distance to this distance, but because this is all a massive factory area, I just didn't. It doesn't make sense to want to train from there to there, and there's too much stuff in the way. But from there to there, that's looking a bit more interesting. So it's a major problem I actually have is getting enough gravel into the science. Now I've actually still got a lot of stone here and some gravel there I could process, which, since this is all going to run out eventually, that's not really a long-term solution, so I might not mess with that. Now I did this before, so what I'm thinking here is if I took this, I can just convert the stone I'm getting from here into gravel and put it straight onto there. I can make it have even priority so there's no risk of it getting stuck. And then hopefully that will, I don't know if it will solve the problem entirely, but it should definitely improve the problem. So stone going from there into that one. Make it come across to, where would it be, over to there. Yeah, so if that's there, then if I move that down one tile, I just think I placed the wrong thing, that's the right thing. So then if I sideload that there, then this inserter will get priority, and that should be happy. Probably actually didn't need two of those either. Let's see if this is going to work now. Of course it's not, because that has stopped. So that stopped waiting for that to do something, so let's just give it a second, and there it is working again. So that's just going to be a little bit of extra gravel, and then actually I don't need this, because I'm 99.9% sure this is going to be net negative. To actually look for a calculator, there's quite a few calculator mods like Hellmod and stuff I knew of. The problem I ran into was with the large beacons being added, because of how they impact the small beacons by changing the percentage, if I can find one that's overlapped. There you go, so you see it says distribution efficiency 0.36, so because large beacons impact that, I couldn't actually see a mod that easily accounted for that, so That's going to make calculating stuff, even with mods, a little bit more tricky, and I'm going to need to think about maybe a different way of doing that. Or just carry on doing it by hand, because I've been doing mostly fine by hand, I suppose. So kind of as I thought, by the time I messed about with that stuff, the research was done anyway, well, the first one. So I do have the high pressure chemistry. So I think the first thing I'm going to look at doing is, like I said, we're doing that hydrogen backup power setup. And so I'm going to just quickly build. I'm not actually sure what the hards tier I've got access to. Let's actually put that there, and then I can use that for more training stuff if I want to. So I'm not sure exactly what the hards tier things I've got is. I might have to look at that. What was I doing there? Yes. Because stack size on these things you need very small amounts of. It is kind of excessive. So looking at the top ones I've got, I did have the combustion chamber 3. So that's a bit of an upgrade. I think I've got all that stuff made except maybe the ceramic powder. I guess I'm about to find out. Ceramic powder on the way, logistic storage -1. So it looks like I do not have storage of that. So going to fix that. Did I put the thing on there? Yes, I did. So combustion chamber 3 just for these. And then ceramic powder. Did I even make ceramic powder? I can't remember. One of those mod specific resources. Ceramic powder is this, I believe. Actually looking at that. So where should I put this box? Maybe I'll put the box down there. No, I don't need to worry about filtering or anything. So that's there. It's not as close as it could be, but again, I'm only doing this for things like this. I'm using for construction. I'm not using it for like science packs or anything. So I'm not too concerned about throughput. Now it's got base productivity. Can you put productivity modules on these? So I'm going to be going on to fully compressed gas. So I think, yeah, it's going to be that one. No, you cannot. Okay, that's interesting. But can you put beacons on them? I probably won't because I'm fairly sure this won't be effective. But let's see. No, no beacons. So base productivity, but you can't put additional modules on it. Interesting. So that's going to feed into some backup turbines. The best backup turbines I've got is number 2. Don't think I can get 3 anytime soon. Let's do a quick search. Backup turbine. That's energy storage 4. That's not going to be anytime soon. So, going to be sticking with turbine 2s, which was. Let's go place one down, and I can like work out the ratios and stuff. Figure out exactly what I want to build. So this then has a crafting speed of 6. That's pretty fast actually. Productivity of 1.4, so that's 6 times 850 times 1. Well, it's not 1.4, it's 1.04, but still worth noting. So 850 times 6 times 4%. That's over 5,000. That's 5,304 steam per second. That's a lot of steam. And how much would this consume? 480. Did I really get the maths right on that? Let's just check again. Well, it's 850 per tick. I guess that's because there's so much extra from using the compressed gas. Oh, it's only double. Guess it's I'm going from. These are probably tier 1s, weren't they? So let's just actually look at that. If I'm going from tier 1, crafting speed 1, crafting speed 2.5, crafting speed 6. That's a very big jump. So assuming I got the maths correct, if I divide that by 480 on there, assuming that one's at proper speed, so I can then put 11 of these on one of these. I really hope I did the maths correct, because considering that was 2 before, I'm going from 2 to 11. That's a very big upgrade. It almost sounds wrong, but that's what the math seems to say it is. As for where to build it, I'm kind of liking down here, because getting pipes and belts and stuff from there all the way down there is going to be a massive pain. So down here seems about as out the way as I'm going to get, and if I can build around these wind turbines, then I'm not even reducing the power, production I've got. It will all fit together quite nicely. It does look like I'm going to need more radar coverage though, so let's just put some more of these down and some more radars down. Try not to completely mumble the words. So that's going to be, I misclicked that one, undo. That's going to be there, that's going to be on the cliff. don't think I'll need to land for any of this, so that would be nice. And then level sensor node 2 can go. Kind of a shame you can't just put it like in the fog of war, but I'm fairly sure if I put it here, it will do its job fine. And it's concerning me that that's not getting built. I thought I had production for those. Did I destroy it or delete it or do something? There's the standard turbines. Did I build it here and then get rid of it some time ago? I'm sure I remember building it. Or at least I thought of building it when I built this. Maybe I just never actually did it. Bit unfortunate, so it looks like there'll be another one of those. Standard turbine, backup turbine, that's what I wanted. Oh, I should also... Oh, interesting, so you can put... No productivity on these, oh well. Not really a big deal, so that can go there. Have another one of those, another one of those. And what does this need? I do not need 30 of those buffered up. Let's go with like 10. And power switch on. Oh no, I definitely did relays. So I do a switch. A switch would be over here, I guess, if I did do it. Oh, is this the power switch? Where can I put a box easily? Maybe I can hide a box in there. Nope, those inserters are in the way. Well, that's unfortunate. Gonna be a filter one. Okay, so let's find a filter. Filter it to power switches. One slot is good. Put this over here. And then you can pull off of this. Where was it? It was down here. So it can pull off of this. And then it's not going to pick up all the pylons by accident. Although, having said pylons, I guess it would have been a useful thing to have those. I was using these anyway because I have the right distance for the wind turbines, but I might as well have access to the better one. So let's put that down there, then switch that from power switch to pylon 2, and let's get some of those as well. Now, as for making the hydrogen and oxygen, so I'm going to still be using these, but I should have a high pressure version of this. And as I say that, I should have an upgraded version as well. I do have those number 2s. So I'm going to use the plain water recipe, but instead of going from water to hydrogen oxygen, I'm going to go straight to compressed. And actually, if you look at it, that's basically doing, it's very slightly less energy efficient, but it's already compressed, which means I don't need to compress it as a second stage. That'll be very nice. And for the water supply, I can't really think of any good reason to do something complicated. This hair setup works so well. And if it's possible to put modules on it, I guess I'll put efficiency modules on it just to make it more efficient. Because there's essentially infinite water, so why put productivity on your infinite supply? I think energy efficiency will definitely be the better choice there. And the wastewater, I'll probably just dump it. It'll just be a nice simple closed loop. In fact, how much does that even use? 150. Yeah, let's just go with efficiency module. I think nothing else is going much better choice. How much does that use? 150 rather. That's now using straight down to 80% limit on one module. That is nice. I forgot they were somewhat upgraded. Don't tend to use efficiency modules all that often, to be honest. So this is going to be outputting 140 per second. This is using 40 per second, so that's going to be about 3 and a bit. It's actually that's 170. I can't even read. 170. That's going to be 4 and a bit, isn't it? So yeah, that's going to make that fairly simple. So there's going to be 4 of these in a row. One of these can plug straight into it, and then this will just dump that somewhere. So should I drive down there? I'm feeling lazy. I'm just going to try and do this on the map view. Hope I don't spend too much time with robots flying back and forth because I changed my mind. So there's 4 of those like that. Then there'll be one of these plumbing into it. And I guess I need to leave 2 spaces, don't I? Yeah, I do, because then what I can have to make that work is there'll be a pipe there for the fresh water. Well, for the clean water. I think that's fresh water, that's clean water or something. Then, the work is it? Water intake is there. Just line up with the water intake. So that's going to go there, that's lined up. That means that that can underground. If that undergrounds, this won't get interfered with. Which then means that the that can go there, and then this should tile. So storage tanks will go up there eventually, and this should tile kind of just like that. But if I can make this whole thing be vertical, then that would be a good starting point. In fact, let's start it off so... Then does that look fair? Let's go over there so that I'll leave a gap here for the wind turbines, and then the next tile goes there. Can I get 2 of these in? Oh, maybe I won't keep the wind turbines if it's not going to fit nicely. I don't want to leave that much of a gap. That's getting a bit too much. Oh yes, this is going to come out of here, and this is going to be a big... Well, I say that, like, it's not going to be a problem, because this is going to be a big storage array. Shouldn't be a problem at all, and it's going to be twice as many hydrogen ones as there is oxygen ones. How am I doing for tanks? I did have upgraded tanks as well. So let's use those. I want a large tank number 2. Alright, so I started thinking about it and then didn't finish it. Well, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a detour. So, reinforced concrete appears to be missing. How do I get reinforced concrete? That is concrete, reinforced concrete. You know, I was hoping it'd just be like add some rebar or something. That is that's a completely new recipe. I think I've got all the pieces. Definitely don't want to use logistics bots for this. This is one I should do properly, I think. So detour, I think my power solution is fine for now. It's just really I wanted to remove this and make it better. So I'm going to have to come back to that one later, I'm afraid. And let's go look at this reinforced concrete. So looking at that recipe, one of the things I'm going to need is textiles. I found textiles over here on intermediates. So that's made from acrylic fibre and sodium sulfate. So that's going to be something to do down here, which means I'm then going to have to take the textiles past all of this. I'm going to probably try and fit another belt in here or something, and then that can go straight up to the main concrete area. Speaking of trains again, it's the sort of distance I'd want to train for, but there's just so much stuff in the way. It's like just moving through the main factory that I think the belts is going to be easier. It's also probably not going to be a high throughput item. Although that said, if you think about it, one track which takes up say 2 tiles of width, that one track can do a lot more than 4 products, and you can put 4 products on 2 belts easily. Anyway, so the acrylic fibre is there. Sulfate is over here though. So I can probably take a tap off of this, bring that down there. So middle ground might be there. I have to have a think about it, because I suspect what's going to happen is kind of like it's happened with every other part of the factory I've built so far. I'm going to end up running out of space because I'm going to keep adding more stuff, and then I'm not going to be able to expand something. But, well, I mean, I don't want to plan out the entire factory before I build the whole thing. That's basically like spend a month or 2 in sandbox trying to make everything perfect. So I'll deal with the problems as they occur. So those beacons can reach across there, so I could actually get used to these beacons for free. That could be a good idea. 15 seconds makes 5, so I suspect I don't need a huge number of these. So if I was to do, say, that there, I get most of the beacons. In fact, I could do 2 of them, that's quite easy. Then textiles, so if I brought the sulfate down, acrylic is probably going to end up going in the opposite direction, and I can't really move this pipe easily. So I might actually be fine off. I know I built a lot of this with double rows of beacons. What I noticed when I was looking at it is because especially I'm taking a lot of time to do stuff, things just end up sitting idle like this. So whereas like the iron at least gets a little bit of effort, and probably I should beaconize this at some point. Well, even that, like even still, it's not really doing too much. So beacons that are sat there doing nothing because just wasting power is my thought. So, talked myself into it. Single wire beacons on this. Do still want the yield modules though, because that is just free stuff. Then, how shall I do this? Because they're going to come in opposite directions. I have got 3 tiles, so I could do is inputs, more inputs, and then outputs. Do it like that. Let's go and put the output on the top edge. So then if at the end of the line, filter it, and then I'll take the textiles back up north. So filter on textiles. Sulfate will stop there. That'll go up, and then I just need to bring the sulfate down on the bottom edge of this. So basically bring it to there. Can't easily want to build in the opposite direction there. What I could do is put a filter on this. It looks like I've got plenty of excess production anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Oops, wrong side. So that can come down there. Then a critic can come from... I'm not really sure I'm going to build here long term, so... Not sure how much a critic does this actually need. Just under 1 per second. This outputs... Yeah, I probably do want both of those. Okay, so what I can do then... Guess the best I can do really is put that there. And I'm just going to come along there for the time being, and maybe in the future I'll change that. Depending what else I need to build, and then that should give me the fibres I need. Fibres, textiles. Well, you make textiles out of fibres. Then I wanted to come up here if I could. In fact, I've got a spare belt there. Don't know why that shifts over, but I could easy enough move that across one. And that's the concrete production, so... I guess that's because when I set this up, well... Instead of just interfering with that, I can just build that there. So, that's going to have to go... It's getting very crowded here. I think that's the correct place. Get past all of this stuff and then just attach it to the critic. The critic to the textiles down here. Something's easier said than done. I do really need to get this stone out the way eventually. It's gradually working its way through it though. Those are now empty. One of these days I will need to do new stone bricks, but not for a while yet. So I still need to deal with all this congestion here. That can get through there though. That can get through. Can't remember what that is, but it's dead. So do that, and then I'll get past that stuff as well. Looks like there's going to be space here, so I can go past these pipes. At which point I'm thinking I'd have been better off making the textiles be... Oops, wrong one. Textiles be there. Let me see, then I want to get up there really. So let's just disable that for a second, put that there, let's have the filter. Yeah, filtering that way works. Actually, I really want to filter that the other way around. Oh, what am I carrying? Well, let's just... I'll do that in a second, don't need to make everyone watch me try and once again tidy my inventory up. So that's going to go across there, that can go there then. And then that's going to link that up to the concrete, and should have the textiles up there in just a moment. To remind myself what that slot was for, so I actually don't want to take textiles up there at all, so I am going to shift this over, then textiles can be there. Well, this looks like I am short on gravel up here as well, which means I guess I finally got rid of... Yeah, I finally got rid of most of that, so... Last few boxes of gravel to get rid of, so might finally be done with that. That would be kind of nice, but at the same time I was actually finally using it for something useful. So that's going to go there instead. This will become textiles, and this can still be stone bricks when eventually that one runs out. Although I still think that's going to be not for a very, very long time, to be honest. But let's just put it in place anyway. So that's all going to go up there, and then... You actually need to get this over. I guess over here really are probably the best place to build it, over with this concrete. Because I need the cement. Not sure if I need mortar and stuff, but I definitely need cement. And let's have a look. Yep, cement, gravel, sand. Well, gravel and sand are there. Textile just done. Steel rod, steel wire. I can get that from the bus, I believe. And water. I actually got water here anyway for this stuff, so that's all going to be fairly nice. In fact, I need steel wads, yeah. So if I get the steel wads, I'll make the steel wire on site. So that'll be the easiest way of doing that, I think. I think that uses lubricant, I believe so. Where is it? Steel wire. Actually doesn't have a lubricant version. Interesting. Oh no, always uses steel wire. Lubricant, never mind me. It doesn't have an upgraded version. So yeah, I'll take the lubricant as well. I've got a pipeline of it here. Suspect I'm not going to need a huge amount of it, but it'd be nice to have some sort of module bonus. So I think what I'll do is that you can only put one of these in an area. That's still going to give it, what, an extra 20%? Not going to just turn that down. Hopefully I'll get better ones of these in the future. Could also actually upgrade. I really should go around and upgrade all of these modules, I suppose, but I'll get around to it eventually, hopefully. So if that's there, is it going to be the same type of machine for these? Flotation cell 2s. So if I've got mirrored versions of those, that might be better. Let's have a look at how this recipe is. It's only a water pipe, so whether it's mirrored or not might not even make a great deal of difference. We'll have to see. So it's going to be... I actually didn't realise I had a better version of that. Well, maybe I'll upgrade that in the future, but for now I care about that. And if I took a mirrored one of those, put that there, what would that look like? I don't think that gives me any actual benefit because it's just changing where the water pipe goes. Big question is, so that's 1, 2. I need 3 belts of input. So let's say that was, that's not going to work. Let's say that was that. I then need a belt of output. Yeah, that water pipe is going to be an issue because there's nowhere special to put it, and I need 2 inserters there. Maybe what I do is I do like that, then that could underpass. Or they could underground belt, that'd be more compact. So that's like that, then that would do that, because you can still put inserters there perfectly fine. Right, so that point I might as well do that, it just looks nicer. Anyway, so if that's going to be there, let's actually make this line up though with those. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. I guess 4 of them fit nicely in this layout. Trying to think the best way of doing this is just put them all in that direction because I can put the output over there maybe. I've got those belts anyway. I think that's from the iron resource or something. I think it produced a little bit of surplus limestone. That's what that's doing. So that will go there. Then let's see what I need to do here. So cement is this one there. That so nearly lines up. It doesn't quite. Trying to think what the easiest way of doing this will be. I am thinking, actually it needs sand as well, doesn't it? And again, I'm thinking that so nearly lines up. Well, maybe I'll do that one in the other direction, but for now, let's do that. So that is 2 things out the way. Probably I'll put those on 1. Then that leaves gravel and textile. Well, textile is over there at this moment. That's going to come across. That is gravel, so if I just merge those 2 together, that'll probably be the easiest solution for that as well. Try and work out exactly where I want to merge it. Maybe if that goes... Yeah, I could do that. Then that'll be gravel. Textile can go on here. Maybe not the tidiest route ever getting past that stone there, but be functional, and maybe in the future I'll tidy it up, but I think that'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be any issue there. So that's going to come across, that's going to merge with that. Water I'm going to take from a pipe there. I just need to... Oh, I've kind of got myself... got things in the way there. Let's do that. Then hopefully that can just bypass... No, it can't bypass all of it, can it? Well, it can go... Oh, there you go. It goes most of the way. That doesn't need to be there. That could just go, for example, there, which means that can go there. That can move up, and that's one pipe finished. So I'm making the steel wire. How much steel wire do I actually need? So that's one every 6 seconds. Highly doubt I'm going to need something special about then if that's making... What's the wrong thing? That's making more than one per second. I think just one of those will be fine to start with. Foundry number 2. And lubricants, so that's going to come up there. Let's find one I can copy. I'd have been better off if that was, however, there. So let's just move that around ever so slightly. So that means I'm going to be able to make this one into steel wire. So if that was to be there, that can go somewhere like that. So my plan is take the steel rod, put it in there, take the steel wire, put it on there. So steel rod will need to be on this side. So I should then be able to do input, output, then that's going to be what? Input there, that's the wrong way round. Damn, let's just turn that around the right way. So that should now work. Yep, that is working, so let's repeat that layout for each one. And then I'll have my reinforced concrete at last. And think about it, right now I don't have any use for reinforced concrete anywhere in my production chain, so essentially that will probably go down there eventually, but in the short term what I'm going to do is just throw that into a provider chest, like say this one, so that can go there, and that will make it available for the bits and pieces I need right now. And I've probably made way more production of both that and textiles than needed, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it for something substantial in the future. Just for now it's just a little bit for those. A little bit for those tanks. Almost forgot for a second what the whole point of this was, so yeah, let's go finish up those tanks and then I can finish up planning my power plant. So I nearly had this one built before. I think the only thing I was missing... I'll bring the steel beams over properly, but the reinforced concrete, I'll put that on there. So that was the main thing I was missing, and then not want 500 of that, that's absurd. This needs like 5, no, it needs 20. 500, that's an insanely large stack, so where can I get steel from? I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Steel beams are up there. Bring it down there maybe? That's going to be a bit of a tight fit, let's see. That can go there, which brings that from... Well, that's going to conflict straight with that pipe. That is not actually helpful. Pretty sure I can make this fit though. Guess I'll have to be like that, then bring it down there. Unless I see a closer supply of it, not really. So yeah, I'll just get it off of there, bring that straight down. Definitely would have been easier to use a bot, wouldn't it? Oh well, I said I was going to do it without a bot, let's do it without a bot. That's not going to fit there. So I think I can do is if I underground everything else, and then I can put a filter on here. The filter can provide steel beams, and then that'll work. So one filter for steel beam. Steel beam is that. That goes down, undergrounds that, and then yep, that'll work fine. And I now have the tier 2 large tank. So that's going to store 250, so just for reference, what did these store? About 30, so it's going from 3x3 to 4x4, but I'm storing 10 times more stuff, or roughly twice the space I guess, so twice the space, or slightly less than twice the space, for 10 times the storage, not bad. And so, actually to work around these power poles, whatever, the wind turbines, well, they've only got a thing on the middle, haven't they? That's interesting. So... yeah, let's do that there. So that's going to be one of them, and then that will be the other. Which way around I want to do it? Let's do it around... Actually, I don't know. Let's do it around other side later, based on how these turbines are going to look. So where did I put that? It was over here, wasn't it? Well, I could always mirror them, so... I suppose there is actually lots of choices, but I guess I'll find out. So if that goes there, leave myself space there for storage. Move these up here. Thinking it really doesn't matter because whichever I do that, these are going to be awkward. Let's just hold on to that for a second. What do I do here to make it work? Yeah, let's do that again. And then that would be 22, I think, but I can do 2 sets of 10 or something, will be neater. So essentially I want to take this design, but then upgrade it to the new world if you like. So let's see what that's going to look like. So if that looks like that, then it really doesn't matter which way around I do this then. Let's just put the second one there. Just make a decision. Actually didn't think about the pipe throughput. I hope I've got enough throughput, but maybe to be sure I'll just go with the blue ones. So probably fine for red on input, blue for output. It seems to output a lot more steam than it had for input. Not space for an underground there really. So if that goes like that, and then I said 10 and 10, didn't I? So yeah, I'm going to get rid of these ones, I guess. They're real blue in the way. Is this going to tile nicely? It's going to. I'm going to leave a gap, I suppose, between these. I do actually need to put power poles somewhere as well, don't I? Let's not forget important things. In which case, if I need to leave a gap anyway and this doesn't work, I'll have to give it a test. But if this doesn't work, I could probably fit in 2 distinct pipes. So we'll find it out. So that's going to be 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I thought it was 10 total. Well, that is a lot of turbines. So that will go there. Build a whole load of tanks like this. How many fit? That many fit. And then it was what? That was going to be oxygen. That was going to be hydrogen. So actually I want pumps on those because as the tanks get lower you'll get less pressure in the pipes and you'll get less throughput. That is bad. So pumping it is. In fact, probably a bit late to think about it, but I probably should have done it in terms of the pump air. Actually, compressed gas is so much more compact, so considering that's 200 and this is, yeah, it's not even really a, that was the wrong one, it's this one. Yeah, so going from 290, it's probably not going to be a problem, but I still will use a pump. But I think the red pipes will be more than enough about worrying about it, so pumps on the outputs there. I need to get that over to there in some form. Well, I do have that gap anyway because this won't tile perfectly that way. So that actually lets me put a pipe in there without too much trouble. That will carry on there to the next one. That will go there, so that's that part set up. Then I just need to finish off setting up this. What I probably should do is use the mirrored ones. So let's make some surge electrolyzers mirrored. Can't put, I don't think you can put efficiency in these either. It would be nice if you could, but I suppose that would be, yeah, you probably go actually break the game by making free energy. And free energy should be impossible because if you can make these cheaper, you could probably run like a loop where the power they output, or the power you generate from the hydrogen output, powers the electrolyzer itself. So yeah, that's probably why you can't do that, I guess. So anyway, what was I doing? So I want to take this and I want to put this down there. So that's going to change. Okay, I can still get away with that. I was worried I was about to be stuck, but nope, that's fine. That still works. That goes there. In fact, I want to make this look neater now. If I did that, yeah, I think I'll do that. So that'll look a little bit neater. Then hydrogen's going to be there, and oxygen going to be there like that. Similar layout actually what I used before on like chemical plants and stuff as far as this piece goes. So they're going to go across like that. I'm actually going to use pumps as well to fill up the tanks. Same issue. Well, actually these store 110% pressure. What the hell is that about? How can you have more than 100% pressure on a fluid? Anyway, so Yeah, these pipes only have 60%, so to get from 60% to more than 60%, use a pump. And this didn't need to be this far south then. This could have gone more like there, be a little bit more compact. So oxygen into that one, and do any of these line up? That one lines up. So let's do that. And then I just need to make sure it's all got power. Probably easiest to do that with a substation. Oh, there you go, that's brilliant. That substation covers all of it. And that substation covers all of that. So I'm going to let the bots finish that, and then I'm going to think of a way of testing this. Oh, and don't forget the wastewater. I wasn't going to do anything with the wastewater. I'm just going to dump it over there. So I'm going to take where's one of the better outflows. Let's get an outflow too. So that can just go there like that. And then that should cover everything. I need to make those. Let's put them in the trash slots. I haven't got any automated production for the electrolyzer 2s. But that is fine. I was just short on the... I guess I didn't do the wells either, so I'll make some of those by hand too. There, so I found this isn't working as smoothly as I wanted. You can see these aren't all running. And look at this is because it's not enough fresh water. Also, I should have put more modules in that. Now, I don't know if I actually have a better version of the well available. I'm just going to check. Don't believe I do, and I've probably not got one coming up anytime soon. Do you actually have the science? Oh, right, so I guess I do have the science packs for that. I don't have the science packs for stuff that come before it, so not anytime soon. So let's try and figure out what I should have done because I screwed that up. So that's using 200 per second. It's a quarting speed 2, so that's 400 per second. So if that's producing 125, then I want at least what that's going to be. Wasn't using the full capacity. Let's start with 3 of these. Let's see how that goes. So 1, 2, and 3. Link those together. And let's just see if this will now keep up. Okay, that's keeping up. You can see this pipe here is gradually filling up, and these are running all the time. Actually, I thought of a neater way of doing this as well. I'm going to build those there. I guess, well, I've got spare space here anyway I'm not using, but I think this looks neater. It makes it... Because when I tile this, it's going to look like that as well. I think that looks quite nice. Now, this is still going to be very slow at filling up these tanks. I'm making... I really wish the fluids would like average out over a second or two. Because this is doing it in like single cycles, it's hard to see on these numbers here what it is doing. It's unfortunate. But I don't think it's a huge amount, so what I'm going to do is build... Let's build 3 of these. Probably don't need any more storage, and then I'm going to have to do a test on this. So to build 3 of these, I'm just going to take that. It's going to be 2 and 3 there. All of that should link up, and I'm pretty sure these pipes have more than enough capacity for this job. So looking at the power, that's definitely a sizable upgrade to my amount of actual power usage. You can see all these surge electrolyzers here. They've actually almost caught up with beacons. I actually realised beacons are adding up to as much as they are, and you can see it's like constant passive usage, so they are very significant there. Not sure why that went down. I must have deleted some, maybe upgraded some to tier 2s. No, small beacon 2 is still not really up there. Must have deleted some and just forgotten about what I did. But yeah, so that is a lot of power going into backup, and it's still after 5 or 10 minutes while I was messing around with stuff. What it's up to, like 10% of its capacity, slightly over. So lots of capacity there, but I do want to test this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the game, and I'm going to probably just cheat and go into editor mode, give it a test, and then I can reload my game once I know, because maybe if I had one of those mods that would let me calculate this, that'd be a way of doing it, but since I don't, I'm going to do a live simulation. So one game is saved, so my thought is go into editor mode. So yeah, disable achievements, but when I load the save game, that will be fine. Then let's get one of these, and what I want to do is, can you not just drop that in there? I don't actually use those filters very often. I was hoping I could just drop it. So turbine 2 though, let's just get rid of those out of here. So we're going to just use the backup power for a few seconds. So all of those are gone. I guess that was a mistake I made when I was building those. Not sure how that happened. Right, so next step, going to disconnect this power from everything else. So disconnect that and that. So now I've just got this thing I built as a completely isolated system. Then to make sure there's lots of power demand, going to go to electric energy interface, going to place one of those down, turn off the production and turn the usage up to a maximum. Now if I unpause that, then this should be the only power source. That is not doing what I was hoping to do. Okay, where did I make a mistake here? How can I fix this? So I think it's because the backup turbines, they won't power this because of properties and stuff. Interesting to know, but how can I make this work then? Okay, got a fix. So standard turbines, these ones, they have exactly the same stats as the backup turbine, but they have their different power priority. So obviously standard instead of backup. So these will power that. So firstly, what am I actually producing? So that's 50 megawatts of production from all of that. Again, these things, they kind of pulse, so it doesn't stay even on here. So unfortunately, I could use the reduction statistics, but it's just showing the whole factory. You can't be like, just show me this. I'd have to go into a new map and copy this as a blueprint. It does look to me though like they're all getting to one. Nope, they're not. Literally about to say they look like they're working fine. They are not working fine. Am I actually overloading a blue pipe? Okay, so if I'm overloading a blue pipe, going to have to think about how to do this differently. So something to bear in mind is, like I said about tiling, so this is my size here anyway. So let's just get rid of that entirely for a moment. Get rid of all of that. What if I wanted this to be lined up with that? Not going to line up, is it? There's not enough space. Well, I could do that. It's essential I had. So let's just put that, undo all that, put that back for a second. So, plan is, if I get rid of that, that would need to move over there. But what my thought is then is that can go like that. Then that can be undergrounded there, and now I'm providing essentially a dedicated pipe for each one. This is still getting stuck on output. Do I have to actually use both sides of those? So I wonder what the throughput limit actually is on this pipe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 5 pieces of pipe. So if I do that and then let's find a pump. Okay, so what I've got here is 2 infinity pipes. I'm still in the test mode. And some pumps freeze just to make sure they're going to move as quickly as possible through 5 pump segments. And it looks like I'm getting 2800. That's just to make sure that's actually the pipe that's the issue. So if I shorten that, let's say, if I just shorten it to that, how much can it move? So it can move up to 6000 using infinity pipes. So then presumably if I did like this but made that shorter, I'll get more. Yeah, I get more. So I'm basically capping myself at 2800, literally on just this piece of pipe here. But I even worry about like turbine to turbine transfer speed. So if we take that 2800, what do these potentially output? So that's 850 times 6. So yeah, that's going to be 5100 on the 2 of these. So what I'm calculating there then is that that does a little bit over half. And I do need to find a better layout for this so that these are substantially shorter. I wonder if at this point, because the steam is much more the issue than this, if I just got rid of this entirely and essentially made that direct insert, let's see how that goes. So I'm going to kind of cheat for a second and just clip this up like this. I'll figure out the pipes later if I need to. So given this, can this run at full speed? So this looks like the end turbine is actually doing something now, so that's good. And ideally I should be able to build 11 if I recalled the math correctly. Yeah, it's looking like that's going to be the way to go. And then essentially the next one, so that's going to have to go... Well, I can get a mirrored one, can't I? So if we go to hair production chemistry, I think it's under. Yep, combustion chamber 3. Oh, it's actually the highest level one, so this has got all the recipes unlocked. So yeah, I'm actually trying to use the highest level thing. I've not even got the highest level pipe, so maybe what I should do is get the black pipe, but oh well. So then essentially that's going to look like that. That gets to 1. How much power does this actually generate? Let's see what I can do. 55 megawatts, that's not bad going. So if we look at the main base here over the past, say, hour, so 55 megawatts is about a third, 1/6 of the power I'm using right now. Should I look at, let's just clear all this out. So if I just look at, oops, clicking the wrong button again, I just want to look at these. So these are these ones. So what's that peaking at? That's peaking out at just about 92. Yeah, 92 was very much a peak though. They're only doing like 50 there. Varies so much with like the wind and what else is going on. So it looks like, yeah, there's now literally 0 wind, so this is worst case scenario land. 93 megawatts on those, about 30 on that, so thinking about it, if I go from 32 of those at 1 megawatt each to 22 of those at 2.5 each, yeah, so I'm probably going to need more of these as well, so let's see how this would tile then. So I've got one set there. Basically the tiling would go like that. We've got the power poles at the end. Let's get those power poles on. Let's see what this gives me. 165. So yeah, this will be a good design, I think. And if I'm going to rearrange it, actually, have I got that perfectly right anyway? Yeah, that's close enough. I was going to say rearrange it to be more aligned to that cliff, but I can live with that. That's good enough. I just need to fix that up there. So the question for design time then is, how do I want to do this? So hydrogen is the bigger input. So I think what I'd do is it'd be like that, underground it, yeah. So I'm going to go back to my actual save and basically build it this way. So this was what I was thinking of before, so let me just remind myself. So I think I'll do, yeah, that one there, that one there. They'll just underground themselves along like that. So what's that? That's that one. Repeat that along there. Repeat that along there. And then just find somewhere convenient to connect these together. So let's see. Make sure I keep the pumps there. Those pumps are actually important. But I might need to just change that slightly because it doesn't line up anymore, but I think that's fine as long as I can just make sure they do connect. Whip wind turbine, but that wind turbine is in the way. And I kind of want to keep that wind turbine if I can. That's just being lazy. Like, there's definitely no reason why it can't fit there. I just need to actually work these pipes out a little bit better and then it'll be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. You need less oxygen than you need of hydrogen anyway, so they're going to pump up to. Probably won't get the full 2400 because of the number of pipe segments, but they'll get close to it. Get a few more of those, and then I need to just build the rest of these. But the robots are able to do that, and I do have that automated production for them, so even though I'm short now, they'll get around to it fairly soon. These mirrored ones I'll do by hand. And I think for good measure, since these were so cheap, let's go build up double of those. So another row of those, another 2 row of those. I think this will be enough of electrolyzers. I'm just going to leave that going. If I do have plenty of power now for even more of these, so if I need to expand it, I can. Just have to keep an eye on how basically how the fuel level looks in these over time. Other than that, I think this is pretty much done. That's a good number of turbines are going to have that. 88, each producing 2.5. So a lot of power, a lot of storage, and it's nice and out the way.
So when I come to build the next thing, I'll be able to basically just demolish this and I'll have this space here for free. In fact, what I could do to start running this down, just so I don't waste more resources than I need to, is actually, I guess what I should do is, speaking of wasting resources, I'll go to these pumps here. So I'm getting rid of the inputs. This will eventually basically drain itself out. Now, what's using brine here? So is this brine actually important is a question I should check before I delete it all. I don't believe so, since I can always get more brine from here if I need it. So I think I'm going to take a break here. This has been a good foray into the high pressure chemistry. Doing something nice and simple, but basically this is going to be a lot more compact, a lot more power. And yeah, for doing high pressure chemistry, I'm definitely going to want to do this at some point, because as well as being able to use that as then the start of doing further high pressure chemistry, but I guess I should do this as well. I've essentially just done it today to get the hydrogen oxygen, but I should do a setup to have hydrogen oxygen for production use. But yeah, essentially what I'll be doing is getting rid of these surge compressors from here. So I actually simplify this because I'll just be storing this directly and then using it on these. I'm not sure it's more energy efficient or not, because I don't think these air filters, in fact I can check one here, I don't think you can get compressed air directly. I think you have to run a compressor. Yeah, you can't get, there's no way to get compressed air directly. So basically I'm going to be essentially moving those compressors onto the air filters to do that. But since all the high pressure chemistry needs high pressure inputs, I think it makes more sense to do compressors on the air filters than it does to do compressors on the output from these. I guess only time will really tell on that, but that's my thought. That'll be something for next time though, so I hope you've enjoyed, and be sure to like, subscribe and look out for that.